Hello YouTube, it's Miss Flump here. It's been 3 months since my last vlog. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to actually get back online, but to be honest I've not really had a great deal to sort of come back and report. First of all, I would just like to take the opportunity to thank those of you that have sent me emails and messages sort of saying, where are you? We want to know sort of how you're getting on with the band and stuff like that. So I would just like to say, you know, thanks for that, and I do hope that, you know, that you are happy with the video that I'm going to do today. There's not really a great deal to say. I've had 4 fills. I did have a question actually from somebody that sent me an email saying that they were considering going abroad, like I did, to Brussels to have a gastric band fitted, and what happens in terms of the fill process after you've actually had the band fitted. In answer to that, I actually travel to Manchester once a month to have my band filled. The surgical assistant of my surgeon flies over from Belgium once a month to various different clinics around England for the day, and he comes along and he fills your band up. It's not by x-ray, but he is extremely good. I've not had any sort of problems there, and it's also it's £90 a time, which is cheaper than some fills by all accounts. So yes, I've had 4 fills since I last did a video. I've been making sure that I went each month because I thought, you know, when you get this done, I've considered that £90 every month, you know, out of my wages. I've considered that to be sort of an essential, if you like, over the last 4 months. I've got a 10cc band, or a 10mm band, and the first time that I had a fill I had 3 mils put in. I have to say that I was told to drink fluids only for the first 48 hours, and then to go on to sort of, you know, soft mushy foods. I did do that, but in all honesty I couldn't feel any difference with the 3 mils. What I certainly did notice is that you have to, even with the band, without a fill, you still have to eat slow, or rather I had to eat slower. I mean, if you look at lots of different videos and you go on lots of different forums and things like that, everybody is different. Everybody is different. The only similarity is that we all have a band, or that we're all thinking about having the band fitted. But, you know, I mean, the foods that people can eat, the foods that some people can tolerate and some people can't tolerate, just vary, you know, so wildly, that you can really only get kind of like a snapshot of how it's going to be for you. But yeah, I mean, when I had the 3ccs put into the band, I couldn't really feel a difference at all. One thing that I would say is I had to eat slower, and the reason I had to eat slower was because, gosh, you can feel that food. You can feel that food going down and it hurts. But in terms of the amount that I could still eat for Britain. You know, I mean, I was still going for a KFC, you know, for my evening meal occasionally and things like that. So I could still put it away. My second fill, I had another 2ccs put in, so that took me up to 5ccs in a 10cc band. Again, I stuck to the fluids for 48 hours and then sort of graduated onto the mushies. Couldn't really feel any difference there either. I have to say I was losing weight after having the fills each time. I did lose weight. I can't remember how much because I've not been documenting it that closely, to be honest. But I would say that the majority of the weight loss was through drinking fluids. It wasn't through the fact that I had restriction, and it wasn't, you know, down to the fact that I could eat less, because I couldn't eat less. I could eat the same amount, but it was just taking me a lot longer. So 5 mils, my second fill I went up to 5 mils, and yeah, there was no change really. The weight was coming off, but again, mainly in the sort of week after the fill, but then sort of the 3 weeks after that I just kind of plateau until my next fill. My third fill, I went from 5 mils up another mil to 6 mils, and it was then that I started to get a slight bit of restriction. For the first couple of days, well, you know, I stayed on the liquids as requested, graduated onto mushies, and then a few days after that I was struggling to eat 1.5 Ryvitas with, you know, prawn mayonnaise or, you know, egg mayonnaise or whatever it might have been on top of a Ryvita for my lunch and things like that. So that did, you know, the restriction was there for a while, but then it began to loosen off. In fact, after my third fill as well, which was probably about 5 weeks ago, I actually went for my Christmas dinner with the family as well, because my granddad kept saying to me, you know, we are going to have to go for Christmas dinner because I was away. So I went out for Christmas dinner, and I could eat very little. I mean, I was still eating sort of 3/4 of a 12-inch pizza, but when I went out for this roast dinner, this Christmas dinner, I could eat very little compared to what I would have normally been able to have eaten in that restaurant. The fourth fill, I had my fourth fill on the 14th of May, so just about 2 weeks ago, and I have to say that I think I might finally have some restriction. Yeah, finally. I think I've gone up to 7 mils. I've gone up another mil. When I went this time, Frederick, that's the guy who does my fills, he said to me, you should have restriction, he said, because when I'm trying to put this saline into your port, the saline is coming back up into the actual syringe, so it looks as if you have got some restriction. And I said, well, I can still eat bread, I can still eat red meat. The only thing that I've not been able to tolerate from the word go is French fries. They really, really hurt. Don't know whether that's the case for everybody, but French fries are an absolute killer for me. In fact, I went to Burger King with my boyfriend, and he sat there with his Whopper and his fries, and I ended up getting a cheeseburger and a portion of onion rings, and it took me 25 minutes to eat the cheeseburger and the onion rings, and I actually had to get rid of the bun on the burger and just sit there and eat the burger and the gherkins and the cheese. And I ate the onion rings, and it took me 25 minutes, but that was before the fill that I've just had. That was when I was at 6 mils, not 7. But since I've had this 7 mils, do you know, it's amazing what 1 mil can do. 1 mil can really, really, really make a difference, make a huge difference. 6 mils, like I say, I was eating 3/4 of a pizza. 7 mils, the first week after having the fill, I found it difficult to even sort of drink fluids. I don't think I was even drinking a bottle, the equivalent of a small bottle of mineral water a day. I was drinking less than that. And certainly anything that I did drink, I wasn't actually drinking until the evening, when your band has a tendency to loosen off. So yeah, for the first week or so, for the first week, I was very, very, very tight. My band was very tight. Second week, I started to introduce some soft foods, but I can eat nowhere near as much as I could beforehand, which is an absolute blessing now. I'm happy to say that my weight loss in total is 45 pounds. Not as much as some people, not as little as some people either, so I'm very, very happy. I mean, you know, I'm quite tall, you know, I'm just under 6 foot tall, and you know, I don't have as much weight to lose as some people, so 45 pounds I'm really, really happy with, really, really happy. And yeah.